Welcome to Tavern Archery. I'm Johannes von Hammersbach, and after a day on the archery field, we come into the tavern, grab a pint, sit down, and chat about all things target archery. Prost. Right now, I'm sitting with Baron Colum Maxwell from the Kingdom of Atlantia, Deputy Earl Marshal for Target Archery. I'm your host, Johannes von Hammersbach. Baron, can you just take a few minutes and talk about some of the challenges archers face and how can we overcome them and how it can help lead to consistency for us on the archery line?
Okay, well, some of the challenges archers face is, of course, what any athletic endeavor faces is you've got to be able to practice. You've got to be able to do it. And most of us in today's world don't have 6 to 8 hours a day to practice all things archery. And you have to be able to go to the range. If you don't have a range at your house, if you don't have a range close by, all these things can lead to not being able to become as good as you would like to be. Ways to overcome them. There's things you can do at home. There's YouTube videos, there's books, there's exercises. There's all kinds of things that can help you with your archery. You can set up a range in your house, in an apartment. You get a chair with arms on it. You put a big bag target on it that you go by, or you put together one with stuffing rags in it. And you shoot one arrow from 3 feet away. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to put it through the wall. You're going to put it in the target, and then you pull that out and you shoot again. And what you're working on when you do that is your form. You're working on how you hold your bow on. Most good archers will spend a lot of time working at 5 yards or less. And the reason they do that is because at 5 yards and less, they don't have to aim. They can hit the target, they can hit the backdrop, and they can work on how they hold their bow hand, how they hold their string hand, their back tension, all kinds of things. Using a video, you could have someone hold your phone, take a video of you shooting, take a video standing behind you shooting. I don't recommend standing in front of you shooting.
Yeah,
but,
you might only do that once, maybe.
Once.
It's not a good safety tip.
Well, then you got to get new people to help you.
But yeah, volunteers might be short on hand.
But those things are great ways. You might think everything's perfect, and when you actually see it on video, you're waving to someone with your string hand elbow or something, or you think your release is really good, and you realize that it's 8 inches off to the side of your face when you get done shooting. So you can find things that, and those are things that can be done. All those things could be done in your house. If you can't get to the range, you can work right in the house. And then when you get to the range, you can work on aiming.
Form being stance, posture, back tension, aiming, release, all vital and important to get arrow on target consistently.
Exactly. If you think of it as a gun with 6 rounds of ammunition, if every round of ammunition had a different powder charge and a different bullet weight, you'd never hit small groups. But when you get every round has the same powder charge, has the same bullet weight, and is shot out of the same gun, those rounds are going to impact right on each other. And an arrow is the same way. That leads us to the fact that, your arrows should be matched. They should all be about the same weight. So you're shooting the same arrow every time. You're not shooting different weight arrows that travel at different speeds. But your form is the same thing. I can put my hand up and anchor
point,
and kind of an anchor point, and I can have a 4-inch difference off of how much arrow is hanging off the bow and be sitting right there and never move it. by how much I concentrate or don't concentrate or lean, or, I have to make sure that I am in the same spot. So when my hand goes here, I always have X length of arrow pulled to full draw. And that takes practice, and it takes muscle memory.
Muscle
So
memory.
that's what you're trying to do. And you can do that at home. Helping me. So here's a short tip on how to work your speed rounds when you don't have anything to shoot. Because a lot of speed rounds, if you shoot 30 arrows in 30 seconds, everybody's going to be way the heck impressed. However, if you don't hit anything worth points, you get no points. If I shoot 4 arrows and I shoot 4 bullseyes, I get 20 points. So a speed round is really a timed end, and you want to get efficiency with accuracy. So what you do is you put as much of your shot sequence into your subconscious as you can, so you don't have to think about it. So what this is going to be is how to train for a time shoot when you don't have a target. So we're not going to do any shooting. You can do this in your house. You can do this in anywhere you want. You don't take any more room than it takes to have your bow. So what you do is, the first thing is you always handle your arrows by the tip. You never put them on like this, because you want to continuously train your subconscious to handle them by the tip so they lay on and they fit on where they're supposed to fit, and you're ready to shoot. So what you do is you put your quiver on. It can be a side quiver, it can be a back quiver. In my case, it's a back quiver. And you just reach in, grab an arrow by the nock, lay it on the bow, and put it in. Now, the way you do that, when you grab it by the nock and you pull it out, your hand makes a natural V with the heel of your hand and your little finger. What I do is I lay that V on the bow. Now my fingers that have the arrow are right next to where I want to put them. And if I need to, I can look down and put it on the nock or below the nock, above, whatever you do. Most people do below. Then I spin it around. So I've got my thumb on it. I spin it around and I'm ready. Then all I do is pop it off. Grab another. Put it on. 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 Pop it off. And I can sit there and do that in my house. If I am worried about whacking the hardwood floors, I can put a little rug down, and it's easy to retrieve your arrows. They're right there on the floor. And if you notice, when I do that, I don't have to look at what I'm doing. I can just automatically put it on and it's ready to go. And then I just raise it and I'm ready to start shooting. So, a very simple tip. You do that till it becomes automatic, and you just reach back and you don't have to do anything. And you're ready to pull. And something simple you can do, take a minute, take 2 minutes, do it once a day, once a week, twice a week. The more you do it, the more it becomes automatic. But the trick is that V allows you to find the string, because you've got about 4 or 5 inches to look for it. It automatically pops in the V, your fingers automatically go down to where you want them, and you can improve your speed. If that gets you one more arrow, in the time it takes you, you can come up, you can aim, do all your things, and because the only thing you want to be concentrating on is that target. So everything else needs to go into your subconscious, and that is an exercise that will help you put it in your subconscious. So I hope this helps. So, Colum Maxwell from Atlantia here with a tip on how to practice archery when you can't practice archery. You can't get to the range, you can't shoot your bow, you don't have access to anywhere to do that. you can still work on things. And this is a simple tip, and I'm using a little piece of rope. If you have stretch bands, you can try using stretch bands. They work. Anything, piece of ribbon that won't break if you pull on it hard. Anything that's fairly comfortable on your fingers. I could put my glove on, but I don't need it with this thick piece of rope. So what I did is I tied a loop in the rope. Then what I do is I just take it, the free end, wrap it around my bow arm so that it comes off of the back of my hand to the proper length of my draw. Then I hold the string like I would hold my bowstring. Okay? Then what I do is I back up so you can see me a little better. And then I sight down the string like it's my arrow. I pull tight. I can feel those back muscles coming into play. I can feel my hand relaxing, forepart of my arm. I can feel everything tight, and then I release. I can do that as many times as I want. Now, the big question is, what does that do for you? Number one, when I'm at full draw, I can look in a mirror, or a camera in this case, and I can say, oh, look, my string hand elbow and my bow arm are all in one line. My shoulders aren't raised. I'm not doing this. I'm not leaning. I'm standing exactly straight. I'm doing my shot the way it should be. And then when I release, I can see where it goes. I can feel where it goes. It's a little slower than the bowstring. And I know I've done it right. And I practice that till it becomes automatic. What I'm trying to do is, when I'm at full draw with a bow, I'm concentrating on the target. I'm not concentrating on how am I going to release, how am I going to pull, how am I going to do, any of a million things having to do with form. I've tried to put everything I can into my subconscious. So the only thing I need to concentrate on is my release. Now, a little bit about the release. When you release, you don't want to end up like this. You don't want to end up anywhere in here, anywhere out here, anywhere down here, and with your fingers stiff. What that means is that you let go of the string. If you let go of the string, you're introducing excess oscillation in the string, and that can affect your accuracy. You want that string to stay in line as much as possible. And the way to do that is you just stop holding. And if you stop holding, you get a reaction like that. Now you can stop it and you can have a dead release, but your fingers should still be nice and relaxed. That's a relaxed hand. That's how it should look when I get done pulling the string. It shouldn't look like this. That's an open hand. I let the string go. Here, the string just went away. Here, I let it go. So that's what you're trying for. And you can be here, you can be here, anywhere in between there. And you've got a pretty good release. Now, a little bit about coming back here. You don't want to come back here as an action. That's wrong, because that introduces weird movements. You want it just to come back there as a result of I'm pulling this way and I'm holding the tension, and when I let go of the tension, it automatically comes back because I push backwards with my back muscles. If you're not on your back muscles, if you're like this, you're not going to get that kind of release, because the only way to get off the string if your elbow's forward is to pull it away, because I can't go back anymore. Back here, I'm pulling off my back muscles and I'm just shoving that arm back. This part of my arm is almost totally relaxed. There's almost no tension. It's just not hard to do. So if you do that a few times a day, you can do it at work. Tell them you're practicing your dynamic tension, your isometrics, whatever you want to call it. You can do it at home while you're watching TV. You do it looking in a mirror. And it'll help you with your form. It'll help you with your release. It'll help you with your alignment. And the whole time you're doing that, you're slowly building up your subconscious knowledge of how to do it. So when you actually get on the range you're suddenly just whang and pulling it and shooting it and not thinking about it.
Books or videos you could recommend that cover some of these exercises for the archer to be able to see?
There are a lot of books and videos, and I use a lot of YouTube videos. When I first started shooting, I bought a book called Become the Arrow by Byron Ferguson. It was about $10 or $15, maybe it's 20 now, I don't know. But it's a very good book because he takes you from A to Z on how to shoot and doesn't really miss a step. And it's very easy to read. It's very easy to understand. And it can get you started. And it doesn't cost, $50, $60, $70 to get. Instinctive Archery Insights by Jay Kidwell talks a lot about how to put your entire shooting sequence into your subconscious. Because the only thing you want to be focused on when you shoot is your aim point. And so you're focused on that center of the target, and everything else is in your subconscious. You're not thinking about drawing, you're not thinking about releasing, you're not thinking about any of these things. But to get those things into your subconscious takes a lot of work. Otherwise, you're just flinging arrows. And YouTube videos, the only thing I'd caution you against, there's a saying called, look for the archer with 20 years experience, beware the archer with 1 year experience repeated 20 times.
That's an interesting point of view.
You have to learn to judge that when you're looking at like YouTube videos. That may work for that guy or girl. There's all kinds of videos, all kinds of good shooters out there.
Right.
And it may not work for you. It might even be wrong. I know of one guy has a lot of videos, has a lot of followers, and everybody says how great he is. And only about maybe 60-70% of the stuff he puts out there is right. Some of it just is wrong. And he'll talk about back tension, and then when you watch him shoot 80% of his shots, he has no back tension. The only time he has back tension is when he talks about having back tension. But he does have some good things to say, and if you can pick those things out, and by watching a lot of different videos, a lot of different archers, you can begin to see, it's not what the one great archer does, it's what the 20 great archers do that they have in common that you want to do. So if everybody's recommending it, that's probably something you should be doing. So coming to full draw, having a good anchor, having back tension, those things are good. But that's just a really great way to immerse yourself into archery, figure out what it is you should be doing, and especially if you don't have time to get to the range all the time. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. Matter of fact, I want to get back out in the range right now and start practicing my stance and my recurrent shot cycle, and see if I can apply what we've talked about and to help improve my arrow on target. So I appreciate you stopping into the tavern, and thank you for coming in today to the tavern there, Baron. We've been chatting with Baron Colum Maxwell, Kingdom of Valentia, Deputy or Marshal for Target Archery. We look forward for your return. In the meantime, for all your archers out there, enjoy your day, have fun, do it safe, and we look forward to seeing you all again in Tavern Archery.
All right, sláinte.
Pro.